stick on the front of your plate carrier. I've already made one that's just pistol mags, made one that's just rifle mags, and this next one we're going to make one that's 2 rifle mags and 2 pistol mags and a single placard. The steps for the most part are the same for both. The only thing that's going to be different between these 2 placards and how we make them is the spacing we put between these vertical stitches. Something to remember for these mag placards is for like P mags, rifle mags, they're going to be 3.5 inches between each vertical stitch. And for the pistol mags, at least Glock mags, Glock 9mm mags, they're going to be 2 1/4 inches between each one of these vertical stitches. So you can arrange them in whatever width combination you want to customize this mag shingle. To get started, all you're going to need for this is a piece of heavy material, whatever you want the body of your shingle to be made out of, and some 4-inch wide Velcro. Cut to the length of your panel. The piece of fabric, you want to cut it to a 12 by 12 square, and that'll be about the right width to fit on your plate carrier. You're going to have to fit all your mag measurements within that. So first things first, you can set the Velcro off to the side, and I'm going to want this a little bit lighter side, not the darker side, to be facing outward when we get done. You're really not going to be able to see that much of it. All you're going to be seeing is this little bit down here, so if that matters to you, make sure you have it turned the right way. But I want the lighter side facing out. So to start off, we're going to take the top and bottom and fold them in like this and like this, and we're going to sew 1 stitch down each one of those just to keep them folded over like that. Alright, there we go. Now we have the 12 by 12 square with both ends folded in about 1/2 inch. Always be sure to fuse the ends of your threads as you go, that way you don't lose any inside this thing as we start folding it up. The next step is to take our pieces of Velcro and sew onto here. You're going to want to position your piece of Velcro to where there's just a tiny little bit of your folded fabric sticking out of the top. So there you go, it's like a 1/16 inch, it's barely peeking over right there. And then you're going to sew this starting at one end all the way down to the bottom, all the way down, come up to the top, back track down, and then 1 stitch down through the middle. So you're going to want to make sure when you get done sewing this on there that you have one across the top, bottom, and middle. Now we're going to do the exact same thing with the hook side, just on the other end. So now that you have both sides sewed on, what we're going to do is we're going to slowly and carefully fold this thing together to where they're going to stick to each other. Make a Velcro taco. So line up the top first. Once the top's all lined up, you can press the rest down. So this is the point where we're going to mark out where we're going to have our mag slots at. So, like we said, it's going to be 3.5 for the rifle mags, and then it's going to be 2 1/4 for the pistol mags. So that's going to add up to a total of 11.5 inches. So you're just going to mark the inbounds for right now. We're not going to mark the inside slots yet. So 11.5 inches. We're going to run a stitch all the way down right here. And then run one all the way down right here. And this stitch is just going to be all the way down, and we're going to make it a double stitch. So come all the way down, loop around, and go all the way back up. And this is going to seal off our ends for us. Okay, so now we have both ends sewed up at the 11.5 inch mark. Now all we're going to do is we're going to turn this right side out. So now we have the main open pouch without any sections sewn into it yet. Basically, these are the first steps for any placard you're going to make, and from here on out is where you make it a custom one. If you wanted to have an admin pouch, all you do is you just make a flap that goes across the back here, sew it on with a little bit of hook side Velcro. It would flap over and Velcro to this, and you'd have whatever size divider you want sewn in there. Then you'd have a flat admin pouch. Or, like we're going to do, we're going to mark out our mag sections, and the hook side's going to go against the carrier, so I want with my left hand to be able to have the small little pistol mags right over here and the 2 rifle mags right over there. Just for your information, if you have a certain type of mag that you want to have in one of these, how you measure them is you take your mag and from the center line on this side, wrap around to the center line on the opposite side. That's how you measure how much space you're going to need between your lines to see when the fabric wraps around it. That's where it's going to be at. So center line to center line plus about 1/8 will give you the distance you want. So now we're just going to go and mark the distances for our mag slots. 3.5, 3.5, 2.25, and then what's left over should be, yep, 2.25. And then you want to mark it down here on the bottom too, so that'll give you an idea for what your straight line is going to be for your stitch. Now you have your marks. All you have to do from here is run a stitch from your top mark down through your bottom mark, then back up through again to make that double stitch. And just do that along each one of these lines. So you'll have 3 stitches for this one to separate the 4 compartments, and you'll be done. Here we go, here's our final product. Our shingle with our 2 rifle mags and 2 pistol mags. The only thing I kind of messed up on was this pistol mag slot right here. It's a little on the tight side because I did 2.125 inches instead of 2.25. I just missed my mark a little bit, but working on it, it'll loosen up a little bit more. But from my plate carrier video, these mag shingles, they can go on that plate carrier. And the plate carrier I have right here is just basically that same plate carrier that I showed in the other video, except for I used the 4-inch Velcro here instead of the 2 strips of the 2-inch stuff. And I doubled up the elastic on the side bands, and I sewed little pockets into those to put mags in. So there we go, just tear that one off, line up the Velcro and stick this one on, and there we go. Got ourselves a different placard on there. Well, you can do too, if you really want to have a heavier loadout, is you can double up the placards. It is kind of getting thick at this point since you are just connecting them with Velcro, but you can do it if you wanted to. So toss 1 placard on there and the next placard directly on top, and having the cummerbund over the top will be pretty important at this point because you've got quite a bit of thickness there on the front of your plate carrier. But there you go. Like I said, you can make all kinds of different placards for these things. Alright.